الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Al-Wajiz, and already now we have reached Salaatul al-Janaza, or al-Janaza, praying upon the deceased. So from there, please, can you read for us? Jazakallahu khair.
Prayer for the deceased Muslim is a communal obligation, as the Prophet ﷺ has commanded it in many hadith. Zayd ibn Khalid al-Juhayni narrated that a man from among the companions of the Prophet ﷺ died on the day of Khaybar. That was mentioned to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, "Pray for your companion." The people's expressions changed upon hearing that. The Prophet ﷺ then said, "Your companion misappropriated something from the booty." Zayd said, "We searched his belonging and found some beads of the Jews that were not even worth 2 dirhams."
So in this hadith, we find that a man his name was not mentioned. And we don't need to mention his name, because we are concerned with what happened. And it's not maybe appropriate to mention his name, because he is a companion, even though he did what? A mistake. So his name was not mentioned. And he's from the companions, he's a man from the companions of the Prophet. He died on the day of Khaybar. Khaybar, where the Prophet he had sieged the Jews in Khaybar because they betrayed all the Jews who were residing around the Medina. Starting with Banu Qaynuqa and Banu Nadir, they were exiled. Why? Because they betrayed. Last one was the Banu Qurayza, and they were exiled. Some of them they were as well killed. That is when they betrayed in the Battle of the Trench, and they allied themselves with the idolaters, and they have breached a covenant with the Prophet ﷺ. So that is why none were left on the outskirts of the Medina. So those Jews who had left from Banu Qaynuqa, Banu Nadir, or run away from Banu Qurayza, all of them, they joined the Jews in Khaybar. Khaybar is not far away from Medina. And they had very well built citadels, fortresses. The Prophet ﷺ, he had 50 knights sending Abu Bakr at the beginning, no victory. Umar, no victory. 50 knights, they had even starved. They used to even eat at the beginning, when it was permissible, the donkeys, which are the domestic ones. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said then, it is bricks, impure. So they had poured the cauldrons or the cooking pans with the meat inside out, because it's haram to eat anymore. But as I said, it was hard days for them, those 50 nights, until Allah Azza wa Jal had made the victory on the hands of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu wa ardah. Now, Prophet ﷺ, he sent Ali, he sent him, and he said to him, "For verily, when you go easy. As soon as you are close, call them to Islam." To show you that the Islam is not concerned about war booty. Muslim army is not going there to gain more money. So he told him to go there easy, and call them to La ilaha illallah, to single Allah in worship. For verily by Allah, if Allah guides one person through you, it will be better than the red camels, meaning better than the distillery. Just one person. That means you're going to guide them by the guidance of instructions and the guidance of conveying the message. But if one of them responded and had the guidance of embracing Islam, then Allah will give you a mighty reward. And the Prophet ﷺ, he told him to take it easy. So not really going there to kill. He's going there to tell them the message. If they responded, that's it. If they haven't responded, there will be a fight. So also the Muslim army, they have we call it war code. war code, not just like dress code, war code. Not allowed to kill an old man, not allowed to kill an old woman. Who's not fighters, not allowed to kill a priest who is in the synagogue or the church or whatever temple they are in, unless they are being encouraging the others to kill the Muslims. And if they're not just in their ibadah, not supposed to kill them, not supposed to kill children, not supposed to mutilate bodies. We must bury even the enemy. If he kills, we have to bury him. Can't just leave him for dogs and animals to eat him. We're not allowed to aim for the head like snipers and all of that. We're not allowed to steal from the booty. So Prophet ﷺ did not tell Ali, go easy and make sure that you surprise him. Not anybody would hide his laptop or hide, for example, TV, because we want to make sure that the war booty is what? 100% there. He never said that. Maybe the Prophet ﷺ, when he won the battle, his battle of Hunayn, lots of war booty. Cattle, camels, sheep, cows, women, children, lots of booty, because they brought all their money with them. Prophet Allah did not touch them for a month, hoping that these people will come embrace Islam and take their what? Their stuff. So it's not to do with that the Muslims are after expanding of the land or taking more. No, it's to do with making Allah's word to be the uppermost. That's it. So, Prophet ﷺ, we had a man now he died on the day of Khaybar. Prophet ﷺ, he said, pray upon him. That means he's a Muslim, but I'm not going to pray upon him. Companions and his faces like, what happened? What's this man? What have done? What has he done? Prophet ﷺ, praying on him. Verily, your man had stolen from the booty. He's taken stuff from the booty without the leader or the Prophet ﷺ dividing the booty. Because you cannot touch any booty except the leader divides it. He wants to divide it, he wants to, whatever he wants to do, can't steal it. And tell me which army in the face of the world where an army had invaded a land, tell me which army they will not massacre the people, tell me which army will not get into the houses and rob the house, tell me which army. No wonder why they say the Prophet ﷺ, if he's to be here, he's the man that we want to make peace. That says peace. Nobody's allowed to steal from the war booty. Can't go to somebody's house because they run out of the house because if you invaded the land and you take and rob the TVs and go to hellfire. That's what you're going to have. Hellfire. Some person said, he's stolen from the war booty. So who told the Prophet of Allah? Revelation. Nabi Sallam told him that this man stolen. So they searched into his stuff because they can't see anything wrong with this guy. And now look how naive that stolen thing that he stole. It's not really that expensive. Cars, beads, necklace. Subhanallah. From the Jews, they are not worth of 2 dirham. 2 dirham, even less than a dinar. Talking about less than 10 pounds. 2 dirham, nothing. When they said this, that means it means nothing for them to do. The dinar, yes, the golden dinar, which is about 4.5 grams of gold. So if you have 20 dinars, then you pay zakat. So imagine if you have 1 dinar, no zakat only. This is less than a dinar. Dirhams, silver. 2 silvers, things, which is, that's the worth of it. Yeah, the Prophet already prayed upon. We take from this hadith that it is recommended for those who are known to be pious, Imam of Masjid, not to pray upon those criminals from the Muslims. So somebody who's a criminal, he's a thief, he's a fornicator, he's known to be a drug addict, he's known to be a bad man, he's known to be no good manners, the person knows to be, doesn't pray. So those pious people, they have to do that openly, where everybody can see and know that Sheikh so-and-so did not pray upon him. Why? Well, because he's a thief. Well, because he's a fornicator. So the fornicator or the thief, he will think, hang on a second, if I die, those guys will want them to pray upon me. The ones with their supplication and their dua most likely will be fulfilled. They're not going to be praying upon me. So let me stop what? stealing and fornicating. That's what it is. That's what the aim behind this is, to deter, as a deterrence for those people who are doing bad things, to stop their bad things. Because the most pious people will not pray upon you. Pray upon him, so you have to pray upon him. But I'm not going to pray upon him. So the prayer in the Janaza is a must on every person who dies, even if he's a thief, even if he's a fornicator. That's why he put this hadith. Even a fornicator, even if he had committed suicide. As long as we know he's a Muslim, he committed the biggest crime, which is not shirk, that is committed suicide. Because he felt in despair from this life. Or he felt in despair from the mercy of Allah. Because we don't know, he committed suicide, he killed himself. His punishment is going to be perpetually poking himself and killing himself with whatever tool that he killed himself in this dunya. So if he killed himself hanging, he will be hanging himself perpetually, all the time, until Allah wills for him to go to paradise. So that's how punishable it's going to be. But we pray upon him. Pious people? No. Imam of the masjid? No. Somebody else. So they will know, why did Imam of the masjid not pray? He committed suicide. So the one going to commit suicide again, he will think, hang on a second, I'm going to be a scandal to everybody here. Like, two people, that means two types of people, where there is no compulsion. It's not mandatory for you to pray upon them. That is, number one, now. So, just read from where you left it.
The exception to the obligation of the prayer is in the following two cases. First is the child who had not reached the age of puberty. Aisha radiallahu anha said, Ibrahim, the son of the Prophet, died while he was 18 months old, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not perform the funeral prayer for him. Second is the martyr. Anas said, the martyrs of the Battle of Uhud were not washed but were buried with their blood. And the Prophet ﷺ did not pray the funeral prayer for them.
Right. Two exceptions mean you're allowed to pray, no problem, it's preferable to pray, but it's not a must. Where others, even the thief, you have to pray him before you bury him. You can't pray him without prayer. So those two, it is not compulsory. Number one, the child. Here he said the child, he means here the one who did not reach his puberty and he was born alive. So Ibrahim, son of the Prophet ﷺ, he died when he was 18 months. How much is that? A year and a half. The Prophet ﷺ did not pray upon him. And he's the son of whom? The Prophet ﷺ. So if it is easy to pray upon the child, no problem. And in your dua, in the prayer, you're going to be calling for the whom? For the parents. Not the dua for the child, because the child is in Jannah. So when you make the dua in the prayer of Janaza, your dua will be to the parents. Allahumma ja'alhu faratan lahum. O Lord, make them, that child to be before them in paradise, to make it easy for them to get enter. That is why when the children go to paradise, and the angel will come inside and say to the angels, no, until we take our parents with us. So they say, refuse. Enter Jannah, no. So they will pull you from your dishdasha, from your thought. So if you haven't got a child, get one. As soon as possible. More children, they'll drag you properly inside Jannah, inshallah. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, أَتَدْرُونَ مَا هُوَ الرَّقُوبُ? Do you know who is the barren? You know the barren? We know the barren. The barren has got no children. He said, no. The barren has got so many children, but none of them died before him. That's the barren. The barren is the one who's got what? many children, none of them died before him. Please do not understand the following from this hadith. That means, I wish that my child to die before me, so I will not be barren. No. Doesn't mean that. It means that for you barren, who are proper barren, then you don't have children, don't worry, you're not a barren. You're not a barren. Allah, this is qadr Allah Azza wa Jalla. And for you, as a person who's got so many children, and you lost one, don't worry, akhi. Now you're not a barren anymore. That's what it means. For the one who's got children, so this is like condolences for the person who's barren, and condolences for the person who is got so many children, lost one of the children before him. Oh, what? That means that child's going to die into Jannah. That's going to ease his situation. He will not say, oh Lord, make the second child to die as well before. He's not going to say that. It means that this is condolence. Take it easy. I say, calm, alhamdulillah. So he will not enter Jannah until he will what? Put you inside. SubhanAllah. Now, about the child who is born not alive. Siqt. Like an abortion, or she lost a baby and he was born dead. If he was born alive, that means he had a scream, cried, sneezed, made a movement that made some sort of life in him, okay? And then he died. That's different. This person, with consensus of old scholars, that child, it is permissible to pray upon him. It's not compulsory, recommended, but it's not compulsory. We're talking about a child who was born dead, did not have any movement. Because that child, if he's born for seconds alive and then he died, lots of rules of legislations of the Sharia goes on him. From that the prayer is allowed to be prayed upon him. Also, he might bequeath and inherit. So let's say that this child was born and his mother died while she was delivering him. Child was born and the mother died. Who died? The mother first. Then the child, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, he alive to 10 seconds, sneezed, hatch, and then what? Died. In those 10 seconds we're alive. If his mother, she's a multi-millionaire, okay, he had inherited from his mother, and also at the same time bequeathed to his heirs, whatever it is. It could be, if he's got a brother, okay, the elder brother or sisters. If you've got no brothers, sister, to the uncle, the rich millionaire, just for that baby dying. So that child, 10 seconds, he prevented his uncle to inherit, and then suddenly that uncle of his became a millionaire after 10 seconds. So, as I said, lots of rules will be implemented as soon as the child. Now, so the child, if he's born dead, scholars have different. We have a hadith in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, said that the poor child, if he's born dead, la yusalla alayh. No prayer upon him. And that's the hadith authentic. Our Shaykh al-Albani, his opinion that there's another hadith called siqt. Siqt means the one who comes out. It doesn't mean comes out live or dead, but he says it's still permissible to pray upon him. So the difference between the scholars, Shaykh al-Albani said, you pray, it's permissible, still permissible. Others they say, no, the siqt here, it means he is born alive. It doesn't mean siqt, he is born dead. So there's two opinions. I myself, my Shaykh al-Albani, but in this issue, I follow the scholars. They say there's no prayer upon him because the hadith for me, as the Shaykh al-Albani said himself, is authentic in Surah al-Tirmidhi. Shaheed. Shaheed is the shaheed of the martyr of the battle. Not the shaheed who drowns, the shaheed who dies because of tuberculosis. It's nothing to do with that. To do with the proper shaheed of the ma'rakah, where he's not allowed to be what? Remember? Washed. That is the shaheed, as I said, the one who dies straight from the wound of the battle. And he has no settled life. If he had a settled life, and he dies later on, he's not a shaheed. He may be a shaheed as a title, but it's not a shaheed as in not to be washed, and then the prayer becomes not compulsory upon him. So here, the shaheed, it is not compulsory. And it's really important to say it's not compulsory. Imagine that we have now a battle. There's going to be a big battle. It's called Malham al-Kubra. Will be an army charging into another army, and for 3 days continuously there will be killing on both sides. Until the last one, there will be more killing on the other side, and the Muslims will be winning against the Romans. And there will be nobody rejoicing for that winning, because each person had lost all his family. No rejoicing. And even the animals will get really fat, especially the birds, because of the vultures, because of the bodies. So imagine now that the prayer from the shaheed is compulsory. Oh, by the time we bury somebody, another person will have to bury him, pray upon him, and pray upon him, and pray upon him. I think the enemy will invest into this and start killing us while we're praying on the shaheed of ours. That's why it's not compulsory. So you could bury the shaheed without what? Praying. And concession as well, you're not allowed to wash him. Concession as well, as going to see, shroud, remember? You can bury him with his clothes. But it's better to shroud, better to pray, not allowed to wash, because the wound will exude fragrance on the day of resurrection. Okay? But it's not a must. It's a must. Imagine a must have to have a piece of cloth for each of one, and there are millions of people who died in this battle. And in the factory. That's why you could bury them with their clothes. Go ahead.
However, non-obligation does not deny that it is sanctioned for praying for them. Aisha radiallahu anha said the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was brought one of the children of Ansar, and he prayed the funeral prayer for him. Abdullah ibn Zubayr said, on the day of Uhud, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ordered that Hamza radiallahu anhu, he brought and he covered him in a cloak. Then he prayed for him, saying 9 takbirs. Then he was brought those who had been killed, and they were put in a row. He prayed for them, and he prayed again for him. That is, he prayed again for Hamza with them.
Okay, Hamza bin Talib, the uncle of the Prophet of Allah, was so grieved, sorrowed because of the death, I would say the assassination of his uncle, because nobody would face him. All of them cowards, can't face Hamza. It had to be from the back. The javelin or the spear which was thrown by Wahshi from Abyssinia, who had felt guilty since that time. Even when he embraced Islam, Prophet said, don't show me your face. Let's look at your face and I'm going to remember my uncle, and I'm going to have some sort of grudge towards you. Don't show me your face. And then, after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, he's the one who killed Musaylim al-Kadhab, the one who claimed to be prophet. He said, inshallah, this. I've killed the best, alhamdulillah, I've killed the worst. No one claimed to be prophet, inshallah, this will speak for that. So he was a death from the back, it's a stab from the back, and it was not from the books. No, he was an Asad, he was the real Simba. He was. Radiallahu anhu. Hamza, Asadullah. This is the symbol of Allah, Lion of Allah. You are Lion of Bedford, doesn't matter. Allah, we love you this. Symbol the sake of Allah, mashallah. So he prayed upon him a number of prayers. So he prayed upon him, and he gave him what? How many takbirat? 9 takbirat. So if you have a special person who died, give him extra, not 4. 9. And he did not remove him. He stayed there, and the other ones who were martyred, they were brought, he put behind him. And he prayed again on him, again on him, again on him. He prayed on 70 from the martyrs. And Hamza was not moved. He prayed on him a number of prayers. Go ahead.
The larger the congregation, the better and more beneficial it is for the deceased. The Prophet ﷺ said, no deceased is prayed for by a group of Muslims that reach 100 in number, all of them interceding for him, except that he will be interceded for. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ also said, no Muslim dies and 40 men who do not associate anything with Allah stand for his funeral prayer, except that Allah will make them intercede for them.
The condition is that for the person to have lots of people and those people in this session will be accepted is that they do not associate anything. That's major or minor. So that takes away those pop stars from the Muslims when they die. They have thousands of people praying upon them, and there are thousands of what? Wretched, wicked, evildoers, doing shirk. You don't find the one which was what? Nice sunnah. You find the same similar one, the ones who will never be prayed maybe, who will be prayed Janaza. So the intercession is not going to be as if a person he prays not just 100, 40. And that is why the person who is pious, subhanAllah, he will get the pious people praying upon him. And the thief will get always the thief. Some of them pray upon him, some of them are not. Wicked, the evildoer. Imam Ahmad at his time, they used to challenge the people of bid'ah from the Muslims. They would say, بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمُ الْجَنَائِزِ. We will see between us and you the day when one of you or one of us died. That was the time when the Muslims, mashallah, upon the Sunnah. So when Imam Ahmad died, the Janaza is uncountable. Uncountable. Thousands and tens of thousands of people. We cannot now challenge the Ahlul Bid'ah and say between us and you the challenge of Janaza, because their people is much more than us. When a criminal dies amongst them, or a fasiq, or a wretched, or an actor, their Janaza, so many. One of Ahlul Sunnah dies, a few people. So we can't say that. At that time, people are Sunnahs a lot. Now, lots of criminals. Person who's a pop star or singer, you have lots of people, Allah understand. Except if he's, mashallah, known Sheikh al-Nas. How many people prayed upon him? Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, how many people prayed upon him? Sheikh al-Albani, we had a Janaza of a person in the student of Sheikh al-Albani. Sheikh Salih, Allah bless him, his name is Kunyaz Abu Islam. All the brothers from this country and other countries, they go to reside next to his masjid where there are lots of lectures there and they learn. So he's well known, especially to the brothers who goes to make hijrah. And when he died, he's Egyptian, dying in Jordanian country. So it's different nationality. But because he was a person loved by the people, his khutbah, loved by the people, to the extent that our Sheikh al-Halabi, he's Khatib al-Sunnah. He's the Khatib al-Sunnah. Sheikh al-Albani used to come to listen to his khutbah. Okay? And he's young, not that old. I would think about 8 years older than me. He died through the illness. I've seen him in the sun when I went there before he died. And I was so happy when he died and I saw the Janaza. The number of people who turned up, subhanAllah, there was no coverage whatsoever in the media. You don't cover it. There was somebody who was, a'udhu billah, even a non-Muslim, but there's a pop star or something, coverage, main TV, all of that. He didn't have any. But he had, alhamdulillah, those people carrying mobile, it became social. It's a different TV now. This is a social media TV. So I don't mind for you, it's good as well in carrying, just to show you a glimpse of that Janaza that took place, and that is only about a month and a half or 2 months ago. That's all. So that is the Janaza. See? You see it? The street is full. There's not another road covered, you just let them mobile. Look, the street is full of them. They were saying about maybe 100,000. And this is the Janaza. It's being carried. It's being carried there on the necks. Look, mashallah. And this is the Sheikh, by the way. For those who did not see the Sheikh. I don't have a picture of the Sheikh now, I'm sorry about that, but the Sheikh Muhammad Musa, you've heard about him as well. He died and he was buried in Medina just about a month and so on ago. He used to come here for conferences. Now, coming back. Go ahead.
It is preferred that they form 3 rows behind the Imam, regardless of how small their numbers are. Mathad al-Yazali,
Yes, correct. Malik ibn Hubayra.
From Malik ibn Hubayra, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no Muslim dies and is prayed for by 3 rows of Muslims except that forgiveness for him is mandated. Thus, based on this hadith, whenever three was a funeral prayer, Malik would put the people into 3 rows. If a number of men and women are prayed for at the same time, the normal case is that each individual receives his or her own funeral prayer. However, it is permissible to perform the prayer for more than one person at one time. In such a case...
Now, this is a different title. You just went to the title, finish the title and stop. This is now when you're in 2 janazah, many janazahs get together, men and women. So this is not to do with the 3 rows now. Let me just finish. The 3 rows. So, let's say that you have a janazah here, and only 6 people came. So how do you do them? Put the janazah and the imam, and then behind him, 2, 2, 2. You don't put them in one row. Okay? 2 people, 2 people, 2 people. It's different from the normal prayer. Whereas the normal prayer, they have all of them go up, first row. 2, 2, 2. Make them 3 rows. The row minimum is 2 people. So the 3 people, you can't divide them 2, 1. It has to be 4. So 2, 2. So 5, 2, 3. 6, 2, 2, 2. 8, 3, 2, 3, for example. Okay. If it's more, then yes, mashallah, filling up the rows, then you make more rows. But at least 3 rows. Second one, he just said that is if you have too many janazah, men and women, he said if he prays upon each janazah, then this is what is the asl. I mean, this is what is supposed to be done. But if he prayed on all of them one prayer, then there's no problem. So the better thing is to pray what? Each individual. But if it's too many, I can't pray on them individually. And I know that if I pray on each one, I lose lots of people. They have got no time to wait for the second one. So the imam would be the one who, they say, no, put them together. And usually this is the case. They will pray them all together. Especially in the battle. The battle, of course, will pray them together because it's a battle. But anyway, if the imam says that he sees that the people will stay behind, it's better to pray one person, second person, third person, and so on. So if you pray them together, then you'll put the male first, then the female, regardless of the adult or the young. So we have, for example, Imam Sulaiman. We are the imam now, Janaza. You have behind you now male adults, male children, female adults, female children. I'm going to put them now behind you. How do you do it?
Male adults, male children.
Certain. What am I talking about? I'm saying somebody died. You got a male adult, and you got a male child, and you got a female adult and a female child. How you put them in front of you? If you're praying the Janaza. Yeah. So you pray the Janaza now. This is Janaza. You got 4 people died. Male adult, male child, female adult, female child. Put them now in front of you. Show me, have you understood this one?
Yeah, the male first. So male adult.
Yeah.
First, and the male child, and then female adult and female child.
When you say to me, which one is closer to you?
Sorry.
Which one is closer to you and which one is the one further away? You're going to put the Janaza here, isn't it? It's between you and the Qibla.
Okay.
Okay. See the stamina? So, because your hands, I couldn't really see which one is closer. You start, who do you put next to you and who do you put further away from you, closer to the Qibla? Do you get me now?
To the Qibla, not to the Imam. Closer to the Qibla.
You start from the Qibla. Right. Which one are you going to put?
I'm going to put the male first.
You're going to end up with a female next to you. Cheeky. No, it's not right.
Why is it very close to you?
Okay. You start like this from you. First, male adult. Behind him, male child. Behind him, female adult. Behind her, female child. Again. So you got 4 people now.
Right.
Male adult, male child, female adult, female child. Between you and the Qibla, so now you are praying towards the Qibla, so you start. Next to you, male adult. Behind him, male child. Behind that male child, female